That's
or in
off
public,
limits. Off limits.
it's a no-go. And both Tony and Ginger are wonderful people.
They're great. They're
and
amazing.
regardless of whether you agree or
Amazing.
disagree with their position,
Right.
they're serving, by the way. They're not carrying signs and
Right.
doing vandalism. They're actually
Community
serving
servants.
their
Right.
community.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's I'm sorry to hear that, because they're friends of Leanne and mine, and so
good folks.
great.
My wife went to
great
high
people.
school with them, and
Great people.
forever.
So that's good news. I think the next step in the process is probably the school board in terms of the pilot.
So
but that should
depending on what
fall.
you read, the school board doesn't have a say in it.
Okay.
Now I've read also that they do.
Yeah.
And then there was some information that I read through not the Freeman, other publications that said no, the school board actually doesn't have a say in that.
Right.
But what's the development?
Corporation? No.
UCDC? Is
Yeah.
that who
Ulster
grants it?
County Development Corporation. Yeah.
So they have
yeah.
the say now.
Right.
Now maybe the school board has a seat at that table. I don't
I think
know.
eventually they have to, because it's, they have
Or taxing
taxing
entity,
power,
yeah.
right? So I know the Chamber of Commerce is having a breakfast next Thursday, but I could be wrong about that. Maybe the 13th. We can look it up.
Virtual breakfast.
Virtual, yes.
So
virtual,
you gotta make your own breakfast? Is that it?
Virtual
Will you make me
bacon.
breakfast?
Virtual. Yes, I will make you breakfast.
I'll wear my house
I'm an
coat.
omelet specialist. That's my specialty is. And so that's going to be the topic of the breakfast.
I'm
the
interested if somebody
Kingstonian.
knows better than I do, because everyone knows better than I do.
Right.
But does the school board have a say or a seat
Yeah.
at the table, or how does that go?
I don't know if Frank Campagna is listening. He's a friend of KCR and
He is a friend.
and a contributor.
A friend of Kingston, Frank.
Friend of
is.
Kingston. Frank's an amazing guy with Color Page, and he's doing the strategy, some of the strategy marketing for the project. So he could maybe sort of kind of call in. I know they were talking about coming on the show. They couldn't coordinate schedules, but I know they're going to come on the show to talk about it.
And thank you to
Yeah,
the City
Brad
of Kingston
Jordan.
Common Council for passing
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you for stepping up.
8-1.
Thank you for stepping up.
The lone no vote was an abstention, because that alderman is employed by Herzog.
Jordans, right.
So the correct thing to do is to abstain, which he did. And so thank you
on
to the rest.
On the Thunder Thursday show, we give credit where credit is due. We criticize, but then we praise. It's common sense, right? We
I try, yeah, absolutely. I publicly apologized. Wait, I publicly apologized to Mike Hine.
Yeah.
Last week, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, yeah.
About the rail trail.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I fought that man hard on the
Yeah.
rail trail.
Yeah.
And I was.
Turned out to be a winner,
well,
chicken dinner.
Like
Yeah.
I said it then, I'll say it again today. Job well done. I was wrong. The
Yeah.
rail trail is a great
Big
addition
attraction.
to our community.
Right.
I wish that the train had been there. I wish it still could be there. I'm still a huge train fan. But to your point, Anthony, when
Yeah.
you're wrong, say you're wrong.
Right.
And so it doesn't diminish
And
you.
move on. Yeah.
Doesn't diminish you.
Right.
You say you're wrong, and I said, Mike Hine, I was wrong about the trail. Good job.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how it goes. I mean, we call it as we see it. Sometimes we differ a little bit, but we're generally on the same page.
We fight like Italians.
No, we have opinions. You and I have opinions. Most of the time, we're on the same page. Sometimes we veer a little bit, but that's the way it should be, right? Because if everybody agreed, this would not be a good.
It wouldn't be very much fun to listen to.
I'm just talking about the general world. If everybody said, "Oh yeah, I agree with you," "Oh yeah,
Listen,
I agree with you," "Oh, I agree with you,"
I never learned a thing from someone who agreed with
yeah,
me, right?
Yeah, right.
I sat yesterday with a guy named Mike Finberg and his
Right.
wife Joanne, who's a longtime business associate. Mike's a liberal.
Right.
We had a wonderful conversation,
Yeah.
he and his wife and I, down at Savona's.
Yeah.
Down at Savona's on the Strand.
Yep.
Just nice to see them. Haven't seen them in a while. And we approached things from different angles. So what we did was we listened to each other. How about that?
Yeah.
Like he talked,
Right.
I shut up for a
You didn't-
minute.
you didn't
Believe it or
interrupt,
not, I
right.
shut up. She talked, I shut up. And then I talked and they listened.
Yeah.
And we left the conversation smarter than we joined the
better informed.
conversation. Right.
That's the way it
And,
should be.
that-
It's all civil discourse, because it shouldn't get personal ever. It does, and then that just takes the subject matter off the table, because now you're, fighting personalities instead of topic, subject, what's important, right?
The pictures of these entitled, I don't want to go overboard.
Don't go over.
These entitled little twits carrying signs in Portland and Seattle and Chicago and New York. screaming and pointing in the faces of the men and women of the police department who are just doing their job.
Right.
Enrage me, Tony.
Yeah, I know.
Enrage
No,
me.
I don't.
They know nothing. They've done nothing.
Right.
They contribute nothing. They've changed nothing.
Yeah, no, I agree
They're
with that.
useless.
Yeah.
Useless.
I mean, it's their First Amendment right, and we get that. Everybody's entitled, but do something constructive that's going to be part of the solution, not just hold a placard. Get involved. We talked about it before. Get involved in a service organization. Help somebody less fortunate than you. I don't care if it's Rotary, your church, Kiwanis, Lions.
The Y, Planned
any
Parenthood,
place.
whatever you believe in, UNICEF,
Right.
you know.
Doesn't matter.
You can serve nationally. You can join the Peace Corps. And so you want to change the world, join the Peace Corps.
Right.
Shut up and get a job.
Right.
And you can change the world.
And look, in my mind, fine. We can talk about diversity, equity, inclusion. You can talk about all that stuff. It's all about helping people. I don't care about age, gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation. It doesn't matter. If you're helping somebody else, bring it in. We want you in a tent.
Big hug.
Big hug. Big hug. Big tent.
Virtual hug.
Big tent.
Big virtual hug.
Yeah. So
No COVID. No hugging, no COVID,
No, I
no
mean,
hugging.
Speaking about that, and then we got to talk about our
We need money.
We need
We
money.
need money. Send us money.
but-
And we need one more YouTube.
yeah, we need one more YouTube.
more, then we're at 100, then
One,
we're
Uno.
on, baby.
We can do all kinds of funky stuff. We have some recording equipment now in the studio. Lawrence and Gene Maxwell able to.
Funky Town.
We can
take me to
Funky Town. Right, we can record singing and put it out there. So thank you to folks that have contributed so far to the KCR fund drive. We need the rest of you that haven't, please do that. We're also looking for
Except George. He's given enough.
I know.
George, you've given enough, and we love you.
Right.
That's the truth. Yes, he has.
If you haven't given though, and you can afford 25 or 50 or 10 or 100 or 8,000.
Checking George's name last week, Lawrence. Who was
That
here?
was a couple of weeks ago. Hayes.
Hayes
remember?
Clement.
Yeah, Hayes. Yeah.
Wrote a nice check after George called. So this is for George.
Nice.
Which was really cool.
Yeah, it was. It was nice. And he's coming back on the 24th with us.
Yeah, he's coming on again. He's going to be a regular, I think, with us, right?
Good.
At least until the end
Semi-regular.
of the year,
Hayes-
until we fill that show. So
He used to be a host, right?
He's
did.
a brilliant guy, man.
He was a host.
I'll sit and
with,
listen to him every
with-
day.
What's her name? Andy Turk 11.
Yeah.
All right, so here's our goal is 12 grand. we're at 4,350.
I mean, I
Which
can't really do
means
the math, but
there's a
I
lot
think
of-
that's like $8,000 we need.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, a lot of chicken left on the bone there. So you can send a check to Kingston Community Radio, P.O. Box 4364, Kingston 12402. Don't put 1 because you'll get confused. Or call 331-1004 and make a pledge. So
Or call me now at 331-9255 and tell me, you know what?
tell me your...
Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I'm an idiot.
call Scott dirty words. And
Call me names. I don't
$50
care.
bucks.
No.
Send in
Stick
a little
to the
money
facts.
for it. Pay
Tell
for
me-
it. Like a virtual dunking booth. How's
right.
that?
There you go.
Yeah,
Dunk
like
me.
the fair.
Dunk me.
Yeah, we used to do that at Dudley all the time. You put the leader in there, and then you throw balls at it and dunk the guy in the water, right?
Right.
How about Neil Bender or Blakeman giving a big
Write a
pile
check.
of money?
This building is Blakeman's, actually.
Yeah.
They say, okay,
Yeah.
good,
Write a
good,
check.
good.
Write a check. Yeah, because we need to stay on the air to get these viewpoints out there. You don't hear this kind of talk anywhere else.
No, you're not allowed to in the other radio
Right.
station.
The programming that goes on from 7 to 9 Monday through Friday at KCR, you will not find anywhere else, period. So you get a whole mix of, you name it, you get it.
So one of my smartest friends,
Uh-huh.
Ryan, good morning, thank you, gave me the correct information about the pilot. The Kingstonian is a deviated pilot, and the term is longer than 10 years, which it would be a standard pilot. And so the 3 taxing districts affected, along with the IDA, have to vote to approve it. So I was wrong. Thank you, Brian.
Okay.
So the school
So
district will have to
does
vote,
have to
if I
approve.
understand him correctly, which I think I do.
Yep.
The school district,
It's a taxing
the
entity.
town, the city, and I would assume the county
Right.
would be the three taxing districts.
Yeah, I
You'd
would
have to
guess so.
approve it along with the IDA.
The
Thank you.
library wouldn't
Thank
matter,
you for that clarification. No, the library probably doesn't matter, but I love the library,
Yeah,
by
yeah,
the way.
no, it's
Sister
cool.
Lisa, she's on the board at the library.
Okay, so we need to get,
She loves that.
we should get
You know
somebody
what
from
she
the
does?
library on. I'm
She
gonna,
does the little book boxes
Yeah.
around the city. Those are cool, man.
We got a
got
call.
a caller. Good.
yep. Good morning, caller. You're on Thunder Thursday. What's your comment or question?
You are not an idiot, Scott.
Maybe an imbecile.
Thank you, George.
Maybe
Thank
an
you for that.
imbecile.
Hey, you're a gentleman and a scholar, and you was one of the state's finest when you was with Kingston.
Thank
you go.
I
You're not an
appreciate
idiot.
that. Thank you very much.
And,
How we doing, George?
not too bad. And hey, you hear our fantastic governor was slamming Central Hudson again?
Hey,
What?
he's
Central Hudson?
Yeah.
Who could say a bad thing about Central Hudson?
why?
Evidently, the governor is saying they're not working fast enough to get the power back up.
Oh, is that what that investigation's about?
Yeah, I want to know why.
Yeah, I read
all
about
people
that.
lose power. Gee, when you got numerous trees that come down, especially in southern Dutchess County, southern Ulster County, and stuff from a storm,
It was bad.
and they're bringing
Governor's a tool.
crews in from other areas and stuff to help out. 'Cause my son is one of the engineers for Central Hudson.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
There were
he was up
1,000.
there on Tuesday night for supper before he left to get busy and go to work because it was his birthday and stuff. And
Oh, nice. Is his name George too, as well?
Nah, his name is Kevin.
Kevin. Okay.
Well, thank you to him and everybody at Central Hudson. We all know we see them out there every day.
Oh
We
yeah,
have-
and,
you know,
hey,
they're a
fine.
sponsor
They're
of
gonna be
this
working
show.
pretty well
Central
straight
Hudson is
through
an
from now until
underwriter.
Saturday or Sunday to get everybody back on. He was going out for a full night of work, so to
John
say that
Masurgeon.
those guys are not doing anything, hey,
The governor doesn't know what's going on in the state.
So much, and it takes time to get the trees out of the lines.
He's
They
busy
redo
putting
the
his makeup
lines,
on
redo
for his press
poles
conference.
and everything else. And hey, that company runs a lot better than this state does.
Yes, it does. It actually runs for a profit, which the state does not.
Right, exactly. And they keep begging for more money, even though they blow more money than what they bring in.
Yeah, he
I-
needs to pay for renaming the bridge after his father.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
You know,
a joke.
George,
wanna know
I
what
thought I
Ralph
read where there was,
Wilson did
like,
to lose his name on that bridge.
Sorry about that. I thought there was 1,000, around 1,000 places in Ulster County where there were down trees, lines involved. I mean, a lot. I mean,
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah,
like
that's what they're
1,000
trying to dig out
places
from,
that they had to
and
go
dig through.
to. I mean,
Listen, I'm a big fan of Central Hudson. I think they're
yeah,
wonderful.
No, they do a great job. You kidding me? John
Right,
Masurgeon.
hey, you compare their prices down to the prices you have to pay down the city. They do a fantastic job.
Well, they're just a big local employer. They're a community. You can disagree with certain things, but they're a philanthropic organization. They give money to everybody. My
Right.
God, they've got a loan fund out for the COVID
Right.
victims. They're an underwriter here. They give a percentage of their profits to charities. I think
Sell cheap light bulbs when you need them.
Sendhub.com, baby, Sendhub.com.
Right.
Well,
yeah,
thank you
and,
for reminding
I'm
us
trying
of
to sign
that.
up on that thing that you guys have going on. I'm on Facebook now with you guys.
Oh, good.
Beautiful.
And I want the YouTube to try to sign up. They keep saying that they're going to send you a verification code,
Really?
but that email comes. It takes so long to come through to my computer
Huh.
that it.
They probably want your
Don't let me sign
Gmail
up.
account password.
Yes.
That's what they want.
So we're going to try to figure out how to do
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live, which I think we can just do, and that way
Well-
people could see it on Facebook also. But
Yeah,
we
but you
really
got- you
need
gotta-
one more subscriber on YouTube too, because then they'll record our show for the day, right? So you can see it for all.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get on there so that you guys
Well,
can
keep
get
trying.
on there and get more money.
Keep trying. Yeah, we appreciate that. Keep trying. If at
Yep.
first you don't succeed, try again.
Well, maybe we can give something to the 100th subscriber. Right. Norman Staffing will donate a cow pie
Oh, man, that's well worth
to
it.
the 100th subscriber.
Beautiful.
Sign up,
you
let us
guys
know, and you get a
continue
free
to do a
cow
great
pie
job
on
that you
me.
do, and continue to defend our police departments and everything else around here, and let them do their jobs, Mr. Mayor.
Ooh,
Thank
yeah.
God he's not my mayor, but hey, he needs to let the police do their job the way they know how to do it.
Take
way
the
they've been
binders
trained
off.
how to do it.
Stop. You have absolutely no knowledge or experience on how to do police work, so why don't you let the police departments do their job? And when people complain, you know what Chief Riggins said to me once? Officer Herrington, if I'm not receiving complaints about you, that means you're not doing your job.
Right.
Great.
Go out and do your job, and
Right.
I will deal with the complaints as necessary. Do it correctly, follow the law, but guess what? Criminals don't like the police. And when they're committing crimes and you catch them, they love to run to a sympathetic ear and say, oh, the police were mean to me. They were mean. They called me names. They were rough. They were rough. Give it a
Even though
break.
I didn't do what they tell me to do and
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
listen to the instructions.
Here's a great idea. If you don't want to interact with the police, don't commit a crime. If they say stop and put your hands on the car, why don't you try doing that?
Hey,
That's
do what
another
the
whole show.
governor said.
Sorry.
If you don't like the
I'll get
police
out of
department
control.
in Kingston, leave.
Yeah, please. Go back to whatever toilet you ruined before you moved here.
Right. Well, you gentlemen have a great day. Continue on with another great show as always. And I'll be listening, and I hope everybody else who is listening contribute to KCR. We need to keep these guys on the air.
Thanks.
So
Thank
have
you,
a
George.
fantastic day, gentlemen, and thank you.
Look at that beautiful picture of Manny
Manny,
Savona.
yeah, with the peaches.
With the peaches.
Yeah, looks like back
Beautiful,
in
Manny.
Sicily. Looks like
I
he's
wish
back
I
in
had his hair.
Sicily.
The man
I know.
has just beautiful
He's
hair.
got hair like a
He's
judge.
got hair like a judge,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
So,
I love that.
What else? So community policing. Just so, Chief Danny Wage, former chief down in town of Lloyd, now Chief Jim Janso, Lieutenant Phil Rollison, right?
Nice, good polls, yeah.
Good, great guys. Tony Calamaris, sergeant down there. He's a neighbor and a dear friend. Those folks know how to do community policing down there in Lloyd. It's a busy area. People kind of come into Ulster County there, but they do a great job with community policing. They're involved with all kinds of stuff down there, Scott. It's like, they do a basketball league. They do, they're just involved in Rotary. They're just part of the community, but they also can kick tail if they need to kick tail when they have to, and they do that. Because it's the gateway into the county, and it's a busy traffic court, as you well know, but those guys get it. So I love the town of Lloyd police folks. They do an amazing job down there. So
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't say they all do a great job.
they do
Everywhere.
They do.
I
I
worked at Town Lloyd.
right. Yeah. No. No. Ulster.
Politicians
Ulster,
don't know how to be police officers,
Right.
and should stay out of it.
Right.
They
Yeah,
should
correct.
stay out of it.
Elected
Stay out
officials.
of it.
Yeah.
you
Elected
know?
officials just stay out. That's why you
put
have a
You
structure.
put an administration in place at the police department, then let them do
Correct.
their job.
Correct.
If you don't think they're doing their job, replace them.
Right. That's it. That's it.
But stop. Stop
Yeah.
trying to
And look,
influence.
if there's bad actors in there, you get rid of the bad actor, like in any job, right?
Well, of
If I had a
course.
bad
There's a
employee
method
at
for
Norman
that,
Staffing, gone. If you treat people poorly, you're gone. So that's any employer would do the same thing, right? I mean,
I'm beating a dead horse, and I don't want to sound like
beat a dead horse.
The police department in this city didn't have the issues that we have now until they were imported by people who ruined wherever it was they came from,
Right.
and then came here and are trying to ruin this city.
Right.
The people who know and love this city understand, and will be good. Take the binders off. Let the city agencies
Do their
that
jobs,
do things. And
right.
by the way, I would say the same for Public Works,
Right.
The Parks Department, or the Fire Department.
Right.
We don't tell the fire department how to put out a fire, do we? That we don't run up and say, "Hey, you're doing that wrong."
Yeah,
you can't do that. Don't put so much water on that fire. That fire feels
Right.
badly now because you've watered it too much.
bash that door in a little bit too
Yeah,
hard.
a little too hard. That's mean. You're mean to that door. Oh my God! Everybody gets a trophy.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So-
I'll calm down. Throw some water on me.
George Gallagher coming on at 7:30. Talk about some of the economic issues facing us. That should be really good to listen to. And thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting KCR. Lawrence, take it away.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Central Hudson reminds you that summer thunderstorms can strike with strong, gusty winds, knocking down trees and power lines. If you see a downed power line, call 911 immediately to report it. Power lines can carry an electric current strong enough to cause injury or death. Stay at least 30 feet away from a fallen line. Don't try to move it or anything that has come in contact with it. And never drive over a power line. Remember, your safety matters.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
All right, folks, we're back on.
Bada bing, bada
Bada
boom.
boom. All right, this is, what is it? Thunder Thursday.
Thursdays.
Flash.
Ba-ba-boom.
All right, and on our...
We have
On the line is with us is our Ulster County Comptroller, March Gallagher. Good morning, March.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on Thunder Thursday. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for getting up so early to be on with us, and thanks for the Facebook post about it. That was
very cool.
Yeah,
Thank
I like
you.
to tag you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to go back to something you were saying about Central Hudson.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah.
I found during Hurricane Irene, when I was the head of economic development, they were the best utility we had to work with. And we were working with several utilities, but they just stepped up in a way that nobody else did. And then when they were talking about merging with Fortis, being purchased by Fortis, I was able to sit in on the conversations with the Public Service Commission up in Albany. And they were the Albany folks were very concerned that some of our other utilities, like NYSEG, had been purchased and it had gone badly for customers.
Mm-hmm.
And I could say from our experience that was true. Central Hudson held like daily phone calls with all the elected officials, had ice and water stations, prioritized certain facilities like hospitals and schools, and NYSEG just really could care less. So I kudos to them, and they've really kept the culture through the purchase by Fortis. So you have really a great management team there, and the culture at Central Hudson really is service-oriented in a way that these other utilities haven't been.
Yeah, the new CEO is not new. He's been there for a long time.
Right, Charlie Frenny.
Charlie
he was
Frenny's
a board member at the Community Foundation when I was there.
Exactly. So he gets it. He's seen the history of Central Hudson, and kudos to the parent corporation for allowing him to kind of keep that culture together. And it's tough out there. This storm was really invasive.
All storms are,
but this one, yeah, there was a
give
lot
them
of
a
down
break,
trees.
man.
So yeah. Anyway, so March, how we doing? How's
Give us
the
a state of the county?
How's the crystal ball doing?
Yeah.
Every time it's going to get worse right now. I think every time I come on, because the budget deficit's going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
We're looking at a $30 to $40 million budget gap this year.
Oh man.
That's made up of losses in sales tax and losses in state aid. The state is holding back a bunch of reimbursements that were expected to be coming. I can tell you the community college's first payment from the state had a 20% reduction.
Wow.
So we're starting to see those impacts, and what's going to happen is we are going to have to spend into fund balance. Let's not forget the current county executive had already budgeted to spend some of the fund balance this year. So now we're going to maybe spend even more. There have been some measures taken. We have an early retirement package out, and I understand that it's being pretty well received.
Mm-hmm.
That won't really result in savings till next year.
Right.
And the county executive asked for a 10% cut across agencies, but we on the government side like to say only between like 10 and 15% of the budget is non-mandated services. So we don't have a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's going to impact taxpayers at a time they can kind of least afford it.
Yeah.
So we really have to tighten our belts.
So I want to go back to a point you just made, March, because I think it's important. School districts often end up in the same position, and I want to just clarify that for our listeners. You said 10 to 15% of the budget is all that you really have to work with. The rest of that money is either a contractual obligation to a union or an unfunded or funded state mandate that the county must adhere to. Am I correct in saying it that way?
Yes, you are saying it very well.
Okay.
Especially where you're capturing the funded and unfunded. Because when you go to cut a position, you have to ask yourself, or reduce an expense, you have to say to yourself, wait a minute, is this expense funded on the back end by a revenue coming from a state or federal agency?
Great point. Yeah.
So it's tricky to figure out what you can actually cut. Now, the other thing about school districts is they are really pushed to have a minimum rainy day fund. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but over the last years, the Comptroller's office has actually come down on school districts who are basically holding on to too much taxpayer money.
Right. Yeah.
They're not supposed to have a big fund balance.
Right.
The county is a little bit different. We're allowed to carry a bigger fund balance. Ours was 11% going into this year, and our policy says between 5 and 10%. I don't like the policy. I'm very conservative. I think you should have 2 months of operating in the bank. But so school districts have less sort of cushion, if you will, in a rainy day fund than, say, the county at this point. Yes.
And they often have way more unfunded state mandates than funded state mandates. Some are funded, but many of the school district's mandates are completely unfunded. The administration of the state says you must do this, and there's no money that goes with it. So where does that money come from? Comes from a taxpayer.
What about COVID? I mean,
yeah,
we're going to have a lot more expenses associated with COVID. Now, no matter what happens at the federal level, I think you will see support for schools and school districts in terms of implementing some safety measures. There probably will be that.
But the governor did dictate to school districts in the beginning of the COVID disaster that they should cut their budgets by 20%. That was a message from the Department of Education to school districts around the state. And as you pointed out just now, March, there is no 20% to cut. They maybe can get rid of extracurricular activities and otherwise you're cutting staffing. The only way to cut is to cut staffing.
So can I ask a question about our federal government? And we seem to be willing to write $1 trillion checks, like big deal.
Willy-nilly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, $1 trillion here and $1 trillion there, pretty soon it's real money. So, but is there anything that you're forecasting or seeing or hearing? I know it's been bounced around between the houses and they're trying to come up with, I thought I read somewhere where there's going to be some relief for municipalities, states. I mean, everyone's looking for the federal bailout, but realistically, at the end of the day, if it's, we need 30 or 40 million. That's like a rounding error.
What we need to do is go back to work, but that's a whole other conversation.
But I'm saying, I agree with that, but we're in a hole right now. Who's going to pay for it? Taxpayers, government, so March.
Government get their money? They get their money from taxpayers.
I get it.
It's us.
They
We're the
have
ones
the
who are going to
ability
pay
to
for it.
borrow in a way that the state doesn't, and that's why you're seeing a difference, in the way states are complaining about this versus the federal government. Counties, we can borrow, so we can if necessary, will take out revenue bonds at some point
Right.
to finance short-term operations. And other municipalities in New York are already doing it. I think it's up in Erie County. I think Buffalo has issued revenue bonds already. So there's the ability to borrow. I don't know what's going to happen on the federal side. I think I can tell you this, without federal help, Ulster County will use its fund balance and have to raise taxes and cut services without
At a time when people are not working because they're not allowed to work and can least afford an increase in their daily expense.
Exactly. Who can afford an increase in taxes right now? I mean,
Yeah.
that is just not where we want to go.
Well, we're not
So-
spending money in a restaurant, so or retail,
I know.
unless you're on Amazon.
I know. So we really do need federal help. Now, the House passed its HEROES Act. When I saw what was in there, it was so big. I thought to myself, this is, is this throwing down the gauntlet? Is it oversized for what we need? And I think you've seen on the Senate side sort of a refusal to move that package forward. But Republicans and Democrats alike in New York State. So, County Executive Molinaro is completely aligned with County Executive Ryan on this issue. We literally need federal help, or you're going to have, huge problems at the municipal level that are going to delay our return to a good economy. I mean, that's the other thing, is that if we don't take this measure now, then you're going to see a delay in rebound of the economy. So it's an investment in the economy, even though it's spending money. Now, I agree with you. I mean, I'm nervous about all this borrowing that we're doing at the federal level. I don't like that at all.
Right.
And, and I think we haven't been as careful as we should be about the money going out the door. So that makes me nervous. On the other hand, when you look at how quickly the federal government acted, and other organizations like the Federal Reserve Bank, I mean, they made dramatic changes in policy and program in like weeks' time, and we don't usually act that quickly.
And we're thankful for that. People are thankful for that. But that's the borrowing. You can. You'll confirm or tell me I'm stupid. You can't borrow your way out of debt. You just can't.
I know you are absolutely right. Our grandkids are going to be paying for this, Scott, and they're going to be struggling with other issues that, are going to be challenging at the time. So it's really, we are borrowing from the future. And I think that what that means is we have to be really efficient with the money that we spend.
There you go.
We
Yeah.
have to be really careful. We need to be constantly evaluating every program. Is this program what it should be? Are we spending money where we should?
Right.
And could we do it better?
Yeah. And that's your job, March, right?
How many checks we write? We, the county, use paper-based checks. We do not pay by ACH, and every check has to be processed. It has to be printed. It's put in an envelope. We pay postage. So there's places where these
Efficiencies,
little things
yeah.
add up. Yes.
Waste, fraud, and abuse. Isn't that the?
Waste, fraud, and abuse, exactly.
Yep.
And most of it's waste.
Yep. Most of it's waste.
Not fraud, but
And it's not fraud, but
just a better way to do
There's always
things.
fraud.
Yeah.
Listen, the comptroller's office has discovered fraud in the past and corrected it.
Yeah,
That's why
it's there. It's
That's
there.
why it's in office.
Fraud is there.
But
People are,
waste
they
is something
try to
is usually
for
right in front of us. And you just made an excellent point about how you issue checks. I mean, there's a more efficient and less costly way. I think that by and large, both Mike Hine and current Administrator Ryan have done a good job at running the county, by and large, overall. I may have disagreed at certain,
Yeah, no, I
intervals.
think that's true,
on things they've done,
especially
but I
during the
think-
pandemic, which
Right,
has
I
been.
think they've done a good job overall.
Which has been-
And but we rely on people like March to find ways. We got you
Check and
can't
balance.
raise taxes, man. People can't pay it.
Yeah. Well, you're not
No,
going to get
people
paid,
can't
is what's
afford
We're
going to
just
happen.
going to leave, by the way.
Yeah. People leave the
By
state.
way, if people want to see like kind of the money going out the door, they can go to our website, comptroller.ulstercountiny.gov, and we have a link there, a taxpayer checkbook link. It takes you to a Google sheet, and we put up a list of every vendor that's received a payment from the county every month. So the July data is up there. We list every contract that we approve and what the purpose of the contract is, so people can really start to see, like, wait, what are we spending our money on?
March, say the website again, please.
It's Comptroller with a P,
Right.
ComptrollerUlsterCountyNY.gov. And there's a little button there that says taxpayer checkbook, so people can kind
That's
of click in.
fantastic.
And
That's great.
Good for you.
Full
What a
disclosure.
what a great program to
Full
give
disclosure.
to taxpayers.
Great. Absolutely.
And then if
People need to be able to see. Now, the other thing I wanted to add, which I'm hoping to work towards in the next few weeks, is we're sitting on a mountain of sales tax data. Like, people don't really understand, like, how does the county get sales tax? Well, the state pays us our share of sales tax. So when you pay your 8% at the store, the state keeps 4%, and then they send 4% back to Ulster County. We keep half of that, and then the other half is distributed to the towns and the city based on where the transaction happened.
I just want to stop you because I want to understand
all
this.
information on it that
Mar-
we really haven't shared, so we're going to move towards that.
But I want to get that right. So we have an 8% sales tax in Ulster County, which is 7% plus 1% that gets reapproved every so many years, right?
Right. So
And-
it's a 4% state base, a 3% local base, and then we get that every county gets. And then some counties have asked for an additional 1 or more percent.
Okay.
So in Ulster, it's 8%.
So of the 8%, you get back 4% of that,
Yes.
and then you redistribute that to the taxing entities that provide it. Is that right?
Yeah, to the towns and the city, yes.
And that's
provided.
negotiated in-house. How much they get? Is that how it works?
It's a negotiation only between the city and the county, believe it or not. And it's a complex formula. It's been extended now by the mayor and the county executive. They decided, let's not renegotiate. It was up for renegotiation for next year. And they just decided to continue to extend it. One of the things we want to share with you guys, with the public, is what the distributions to the towns have been, because it shows you where revenues are generated, where sales tax revenues are generated. Now, yeah, we all know we shop in town of Ulster, right?
Right.
But
We're used to.
like Saugerties generates a lot of sales tax.
Yeah.
You know, so
How about New
I'm
Paltz?
hoping to get that data out there. And then the other thing, you guys, that is so fascinating is the state does share back to us the industry code it's generated in. And I can tell you right now, automobile sales is the number 1 sales tax generating category. It fell off the map to like 0 when we went into lockdown.
Sure.
Right.
When we came out in May, there was pent up car demand. Nobody had been able to shop for a car in 2 months, so it did rebound quite a bit. But restaurants, way down. Hospitality, way down.
Yeah.
And then other categories like hardware, building materials
Up.
went up. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm really hoping to be able to share more detail with people soon on that, because it also tells you like what industries are going to, have some legs during this pandemic.
Wow. That's very interesting. Is that also that information available to the public, March?
So right now it's not available on our website yet. It is available in a very complex way through New York State Tax and Finance, but we're going to hopefully make it available within the next few weeks. And I'll definitely come back on and share some more.
I have a question about the.
Yeah, I just want to mention about jobs real quick, because I can just from our perspective at Norman Staffing, we have 6 or 8 jobs that we have been having difficult filling. These are not, you're not talking about like nuclear scientists here. These
Our
are
president said nuclear.
Yeah, that one. But these are clerical, administrative, some construction jobs now coming in, and previous to, I'll say last week, we were getting crickets in terms of we'd have to call 30 people to get one job filled. Now there's much more traffic coming. I think that's as a result of the $600
got cut off.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. People are getting off the couches and I think going to re-enter the workforce. So I'm a little optimistic that people, just by our little patch of ground at Norman Staffing, seeing more job traffic, people interested in coming back to work because they know the gravy train is over.
Right. I mean, we
Let's hope
definitely
so.
saw that in our family business, where it was very hard to get staff to come back to work, and also like how to tell somebody that they should come back to work in a pandemic when
No,
they
I
might
get
have
it.
a health risk.
There's a
It's
safety
and make
issues.
less or the same is very challenging. Now, I think that that has been a sticking point in the negotiations at the federal level, the 600, and you will see some pandemic unemployment insurance on top of regular
that's
normal
okay.
unemployment. And maybe there should be, right? We don't necessarily want everybody at full force because we can't socially distance, and then we're going to have other problems.
It's a real conundrum, really. I mean, it's either death by drowning or death by hanging. I'm not sure which.
Yes,
really.
It's such a challenge. So let me. I want to just for the listeners get out there to talk about some of the challenges that we saw. We just finished our first quarterly report for 2020. It does lag by a quarter, and that's annoying. But the interesting thing is, we definitely entered a recession in February of 2020. And the major job losses were leisure and hospitality jobs, 15%.
Right.
Transportation, warehouse, utilities down 11%. Local government education down 10%. Professional and business services down 10%. Interestingly enough, this is people in Ulster County employed in state government up 4.5%. I think it's literally a bump from contact tracing. We have to be aware of those changes. Like, where are the jobs? And Tony, you're probably the first one to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're getting those requests.
Right. Yeah, from companies. Absolutely. Yeah, it's starting to get more active, I have to say. I mean, we're getting probably 2 or 3 calls a week now for companies looking for people for work. So it's happening now, and some of it's outside of our community. We've gotten calls from Hudson for some reason. I'm not sure why. Companies had
I wonder if they have a temp agency up there. Maybe they don't.
Yeah, they're in no person's land up there. You know, they're in between Albany and us.
Wow, what a correct way to put it. No person's land. Very good. He's evolving, March. Tony's evolving. That's beautiful.
Maybe because I'm rubbing off. You're rubbing off on me. Yeah, not so much.
No, I'm unevolved. Trust me.
I went to Hudson 2 weeks ago and went up to Olana to meet a fellow that I used to work for. He and his wife were traveling through the area, and I wanted to take them somewhere beautiful. It's gorgeous just to get out there. We did a socially distant walk around the grounds, and wow, to get outside and just see it, and to see it from somebody else's perspective. They aren't local, so to see the look on their faces when they got the view of the Hudson River, it was like, oh, right, I do live in a beautiful place. I forgot.
Yeah, we do forget. I want to comment on 2 things that March said. First of all, there are a lot of men and women out there who did not have a choice about whether or not they stopped working.
Yeah, correct.
And remember that when you go into Adams or Hannaford or ShopRite or Emmanuel's, those people went to work and subjected themselves to this. They didn't have a choice. By the way, they're not paid as professionals. They don't make what union jobs may get somewhere else.
Right.
They came to work. Police officers, nurses didn't have a choice. Go to work. Right. If you don't go to work, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
And somehow we managed through that. We managed to do that job, get the job done, and not all die of the COVID. Mm-hmm. So when there are organizations or groups saying, well, we're not coming back to work because of the health risks, I'm sorry. I'm not, you lost me then in support of your group, because there are groups that didn't have that option. So put your big, your big adult pants on.
Your big panties on.
Your big adult panties on and go to work or go get another job somewhere else.
Well, but here's the thing, right? We all have to take precautions, okay?
Well, of course we do.
Right? And that's why we didn't have a huge number of sick supermarket workers, is because we were all being careful and doing what we should do. And I have seen so many people I know working in retail, family, loved ones, who are dealing with belligerent, customers who refuse to mask up and are literally screaming in their faces. And don't even get me started about teachers. Because
that's where I was going.
My heart bleeds for teachers right now. It must be terrifying. Kids are the germiest things on earth. We all know that. And teaching has become a job that is like a really, really frontline job where we're like, be prepared for active shooters, and like now we're going to throw in a pandemic.
Right, exactly.
Well, except now they want the police out of the school, so I guess we're not worried about that anymore.
Yeah.
And the other, before we're coming to the end, but I thought your comment about where the tax money is generated is very interesting and should be a message to our listeners and our residents. You said that the most money from sales tax is generated by car dealerships. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, car sales, the number one category.
So what does that help us to understand as a group of citizens and residents? Don't drive to New Jersey to save the $400 on your car.
Right.
Don't buy it online from Carvana.
But I think, Scott, that when you buy your car online,
Yeah, you get a sales tax.
Still go to the site of the purchaser.
Yeah.
So I think you're okay there. I don't know about the out-of-state question.
I'm trying to
so I
show
have
for
to
our
look
local
into
car
that.
dealers, March. Work with me here. I'm trying to show for our local car dealers, right?
But yeah, shop local, please.
Shop local.
Shop local.
Go. There are car dealerships in Saugerties and Kingston.
Right. Joint.
There's probably one down in Ellenville. There,
Yeah.
These are people who, first of all, employ local people. Those are good jobs. You work in a car dealership, that's a good job.
Yep.
They employ mechanics and salespeople and tech support and administrative
service,
support,
blah, blah,
customer
blah.
service. And the money that you're paying, that doesn't go to the car dealership, the taxes, they come back to us, right?
That's right. So, think about it as an adult. Your single largest taxable purchase, right, is likely your automobile. You buy a watch.
Other than your house,
It's not the
right?
cost of your car.
House.
So everybody needs to go out and buy a new car right now. That's what I'm saying. I wish to heaven on earth that everyone could do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, March, putting the crystal ball, putting your vision glasses on, where are we by the end of the year, do you think?
I personally think that we're going to see a phase 2, a rebound lockdown. So I think my opinion is we should be ready for that because the flu season, hopefully not until the hard winter. And I think that everybody who can save a little should do that. And I think that, folks who can be more wise in their expenses should do that because we're going to be in for a big squeeze through the winter and into 2021.
Yeah, see,
Now, let me just say one last thing. The pandemic of 1918 did not cause a Great Depression. A Great Depression was 40 quarters of downturn. That's 10 years. The pandemic of 1918, don't forget, by 1920, we were in the roaring 20s.
Yeah, right.
We can come back from this strong and we can come back quick if we're smart about
By the way, the one in 2009 didn't cause this either. The swine flu, the H1N1. There were 60 million people that caught it. Certainly not as virulent, but I worked in the nursing home industry when that happened, and we didn't have the same reaction that's going on today. I mean, that can be debated, but I think I'm curious though about how we move on from here. And here's my point about the flu season. I think we're going to be more prepared this year for the flu season than we've ever been. Why? Because people are still wearing masks. Yes, there's a percentage that don't,
Right.
but I think we're going to be better off for this year's flu season because people already get the fact that you can't be breathing, sneezing, hugging, kissing.
All the cool things.
All the cool things
You guys in
we
healthcare
can't do
always
anymore.
saying to us, wash your hands.
Wash your hands. No, so what I'm saying is this year's flu season is not going to be as pervasive as it has been in the past because of our training and change of behavior societally with the COVID virus. It's gonna lessen the impact of the seasonal flu. Of
course.
That's my prediction.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right, Tony. And I think I'm more thinking on the testing side where every little sore throat and fever, people are going to think they have COVID and it might just be, regular flu. Yeah.
More people will get the flu shot this year that got it in the past,
True.
even though it was from 9 months ago. That they had no idea what the hell strain is going to be out there. So I'm a little bit more bullish than you are.
And wear the damn mask.
Good. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
We need it to be that way.
Yeah.
Wear the mask when you go out. I'm a pretty devout conservative Republican.
Right.
It doesn't bother me to wear them. Wear the damn mask. It's just stupid to say. It's just stupid to say that it's your right not to wear a mask.
Yeah.
You know what? Then it's your right to
selfish.
stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home, you boob.
Yeah.
Put the mask on. Don't go into a store or a business.
We don't sell cigarettes to kids. There's
Right.
a lot of public
Give me a
health measures
break. You have to
that
wear your
we
seatbelt, right? Wear the mask. You want to make people wear masks? Do what you did with seatbelts. Start giving tickets if you're out without your mask. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice revenue generator for the county.
Right, exactly.
Let's
We
ask
wanna
Sheriff
build the
Figueroa to
economy
put a
and
few
it's
guys on
bigger
that.
So, yeah.
The mask patrol.
Wear the damn mask. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
March, thank you so much
Thank you guys.
for coming on with us. We appreciate it. It's always a great discussion, and we appreciate everything you're doing. And you're kind of
Doing a great job,
You're
March.
newly elected, and you just ran into this pandemic along with Ryan, with Pat Ryan, our county executive.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you. When my sales tax data is up, I'll shoot you guys a note, and maybe we can come on and talk about.
Yeah, that'd be super. We'd love that.
We'll wear our masks if you'll come in the studio. We'd like to see you.
I know, and I haven't seen the new studio.
It's
I'd really like
beautiful.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
And everybody should make a donation. Keep Kingston Community Radio on the air.
Thank you.
Last time I was on with Freddie, I said I was going to, and I didn't. So I am writing out my check today.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mark
thank
Gallagher,
you very
Comptroller
much.
for Ulster County. Keep up the good work.
All the
Thanks.
best. All the best.
And we'll be back in a moment. Lawrence, take us away.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM. And also online at mykcr.org.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Central Hudson reminds you, when you're doing yard work, safety matters. If you use a ladder, be aware of overhead electric lines, including the service wire that runs to your house. Even wooden ladders can conduct electricity with dangerous results. And be very careful if there are electric lines above or near a swimming pool, and you're working with skimmers, brooms, or other long-handled tools. Central Hudson wishes you a safe summer.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Hi, this is Jim Quigley, Supervisor of the Town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This programming is brought to you by the Friends of Kevin Cahill. As a strong advocate of local broadcasting, Assemblymember Cahill urges you to support Kingston Community Radio with your time and donations. Your contributions keep KCR vital and on the air at FM 92.5, AM 920, and on the web at mykcr.org. Please join Assemblymember Cahill and send your gifts of $10, $25, or more to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. Together, let's keep KCR alive.
Okay, folks, we're back on Thunder Thursday. Flash!
Boom!
All right, man, it's flash and boom. I don't know. We had a lot of flashing and booming going on, right?
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did.
Storm.
Well, no, there
What
was
it
no
called?
flash of
ISIS? What was the storm?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Well,
Isaiah, something like
Storm.
that.
It was called Storm. Yeah.
How was St.
Can't say it.
Augustine's down there with the storm? With
We're okay.
the,
We're good, man.
Yeah, no
Nothing
problem.
happens now. We're all good.
All right. We have birthdays to do. This is going to be an easy peasy lemon squeezy
Okay.
one.
Thursday, August the 6th. We would like to wish a happy birthday to Alice Legg. Happy birthday, Alice, from your friends at the Town of Ulster Senior Club, a wonderful organization that sends us birthdays every week. Alice Legg, happy birthday.
Guess who the winner is? That is a
moo.
That's a horrible bell.
I know. Alice Legg, you are the winner of the famous cow pie from Boyce. I see you've never spent any time on a cattle farm.
Altar boy.
It's all coming back.
Man, let's not go there. Where's the couch? I need a couch.
Alice Legg,
I need
you
to
are
confess.
the winner. Well, I've been on a cattle farm, so
yeah, I know. All right, so that's our birthday. Thank you to Boyce Dairy Milk House for supporting, and I did pledge that I would buy a cow pie for the 100th subscriber to our YouTube channel, and apparently that person is on the air, correct?
We have a caller?
Yes, we do.
Oh, beautiful. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air for your cow pie.
Okay, good morning. Well, you kind of gave me a little incentive, but I was going to do it anyway when you mentioned Chief James Riggins.
Okay.
I donated in memory of him. One of the best, if not the best, chief of police we ever had in the city of Kingston.
Amen to that, and thank you for saying that and remembering him.
I knew him since he was a little kid with curly blonde hair.
That hair, he had a lot of hair, man. He had some really
did?
good hair. Oh,
He got it.
Chief Riggins had beautiful hair.
He did?
Not like a judge, like a chief. He had hair like a
Yeah,
chief.
he lived right on Beale Street down by the train trestle. Yeah, and he used to come up to a couple of doors up and play with us at my grandmother's house on a Beale Street.
Yeah.
And, he was I'll tell you, he was a hands-on chief of police.
Ooh, I know that firsthand.
Yes, I know you do. I know
He
you
helped
do.
me
And I think you
understand the
loved him, too,
rule
and
that-
respected him because he was kind of tough, but he was
a tough
he
boss.
was fair to everybody, and there was no racist or nothing ever brought up because he was the same to everybody. And if you broke the law, you broke the law, and I'm sorry, but you had to pay the consequences.
Amen
That's how
to
it
that.
should be.
He helped us all. Well, he helped me become a good police officer, and he taught me lessons about loyalty and professionalism. That's where I learned how to do my job, was from Chief Riggins.
And I
he was
heard,
a hard man to work for, but he
I
ran a
heard
good
that
city.
He stopped a lot of drugs from coming into the city of Kingston. He would go up and he'd watch who got off the Trailways buses.
Yes, he did. In his gold crown, a diplomat, Dodge Diplomat, he would sit there and watch.
Man. That one looks
Absolutely.
suspicious.
And
That
if
one.
they looked suspicious, they were so scared they wouldn't get off, and the driver took their behinds right back to New York City again.
Get back on the damn bus.
Sharon, thank you very much for your contribution to the KCR, and I'm going to leave your name with Boyce Dairy Milk House, and you can pick
I
up.
can't get down there today. Just say that whenever I get down there, put my name down,
I
and
will.
my son will go in and get it or something. But
Great.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it, Tony. And when I have a big piece of that dice,
Yeah, think of
I'll
me,
be
please.
thinking about you.
Thank you so much for supporting KCR. Thank you to you and John.
Listen, I had to go to the doctor's the other day, and I'm telling you, it looked like the streets of Kingston got bombed by somebody.
I know.
Well, thank you
It's
for
a
listening.
mess. I never
Keep up
seen
the
the
good
city
work.
look so bad at all. And that mayor should back his police officers, and every mayor in their city should back them. And also back Trump for trying to help quell this stuff. There's a lot of people, and I would not march. I don't think the police should march at any parades. I'm sorry.
I'm
Except
gonna
the
go-
St.
I'm gonna-
Patrick's Day parade.
Yep.
That's good.
Right. You should be a regular caller, Sharon. Thank you
Yes,
so
we
much.
want to hear from you next week, too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you so much.
And thanks for calling,
Thanks
and
to
thanks
John
for
as well.
listening. And we have guests.
We have
introduced
guests,
as
we
well.
have
That
guests.
was a really, really
Yes,
nice call,
that
though.
was a cool
that's
call.
That's a new caller for us, and we love that they're listening and participating. And this is the only radio station where you can call and give your opinion,
Correct.
where we don't censor what you have to say.
Correct.
But we're here.
Unless
but
you
we
curse,
have,
and then we have to censor
unless you curse, but you didn't curse.
Well, I've cursed, but
you curse all. He says
I don't curse all the time.
S word.
I haven't cursed since last November. Yeah,
He
last
cursed
November.
once.
Yeah,
We have representatives from our biggest
we do.
underwriter here
We do.
today.
Thank you so much. We have MaryRose Warcholak. What's your Italian name? Because I need to know that.
Castronovo.
We had a little fun with Mahalik earlier.
What is it? What does it mean?
Oh, it's something new.
Dancer.
No, it's
Oh, Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Oh,
yes.
Newcastle,
okay.
right,
I knew, yeah,
right, yes.
Casanova. Yeah, well, yeah. So thank you. And your job title at Ulster Savings Bank is?
I'm a senior vice president, and I oversee the retail bank.
Okay, great. And we're also joined by John Clausen, who just returned to Ulster Savings Bank. Yes. Great. Vice President for Commercial Lending.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
well, welcome. Wow, that's
Two vice presidents.
you.
Wow.
Thank
Wow. We have two.
Glad to be here.
Right. They could be like Trump's and
Rose,
Biden's.
Mary Rose is part of the circle of women who I admire most in my
Wow.
life.
Well, thank you
My-
very much.
My
I appreciate
wife,
that.
Cheryl Bowers, Mary Rose, these are women who are from
Wow.
here, who grew up here, and who have become leaders in our community in the private sector, going to work in banks, and I have the utmost admiration.
Thank you. I appreciate
Not
that.
not easy to do, and the positions that you've all attained are wonderful.
It's great. We're, love to be here for the community, and that's one of the things I think in all three of us that we really support in that venue. And, we love to be here. So thank
And you were all kids together too, I think.
Yes, yeah.
And John,
Got in trouble
I met
together.
John through Barbara, your wife Barbara, who is a fundraiser extraordinaire.
That she is.
And that's how I met John, but you've been a mover and a shaker in our community as well for a long time.
Can we say Benedictine Hospital anymore? Or not?
Are we allowed? Yeah, Benedictine.
Say Benedictine.
Benedictine
Right,
Health
yes, of
Foundation.
course.
Benedictine Health Foundation.
The Benedictine Health Foundation
I'm the
is still
president
there.
of.
What?
I say which I am the president of right now.
I did not
which
know
is
that.
awesome.
Beautiful.
Yes,
Yes. The
yes,
sip and
so-
sail every year.
Sip and savor,
Over
yeah.
at Scott. Sip and,
And
savor.
actually,
Sorry.
and
Yeah, we don't
actually
really
Barbara
sail.
was the one that had actually got me involved in the organization.
As John probably knows, you don't say no to Barbara.
No,
Because
absolutely not.
If you start with no, by the time you're done, you're saying, "Can I give more, Barbara? Is there more I could do? Thank you, Barbara."
May I have another?
But anyway, good folks in here representing a wonderful organization, Ulster Savings Bank.
Thank you for your support.
Your support of the show. We told we wanted someone different this week. We have Bill on all the time, and Bill's a great guy. I
is.
love Bill Calderari.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
he's-
wonderful guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were like,
Mix it up.
let's mix it up. Let's do some features. Let's get some other folks in here.
So great to hear
Just
from
read
John.
about you in the Who's Who and the Freeman.
Wow.
The Freeman, above the fold.
I
So-
know about
so-
big stuff.
Maybe tell us what your role, how are you approaching, your job, and then Mary Rose, you might have some
Rose
good,
has notes.
some
Oh, John
stories.
has notes, too,
yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
your airtime.
How we're approaching it, I mean, I kind of run on the philosophy, it's never a bad day to talk to your customer.
Right.
So basically reaching out to old customers, because a lot of them don't know what's going on. I'll send out weekly emails on what's going on with the PPP forgiveness, because it's easy to take that loan out. It might not be as easy to get it wiped away.
All loans work that way.
Exactly.
right.
So, as information comes out that we have access to, I make sure we share it. And even if it's not our customer and they call with a question, we had one customer, wasn't even our customer, he was with our tax department, and his bank wasn't getting back to him. So they sent him over. Aziz and I spent about an hour on the phone with him. I told Aziz at the end of the day, I was like, call him back. Just one more time to make sure he's okay. And he called him back, didn't answer the phone, but called back the next day, and he goes, I know John, I want to see the two of you next week. And he moved his entire banking relationship over to us.
Score.
Success story.
Yeah, very, very
And
grateful.
just for a simple matter of we answered
Customer
the call.
service.
Right.
Customer
and
service.
for somebody who at the time wasn't our customer.
Yeah, that's a winner.
So-
That's great. That's great. So talk a little bit about that, the timing for the Paycheck Protection, just if you want to share some of that information. I know it's still a little fuzzy, right?
Yeah, Congress is still trying to figure out how to undo
Yeah.
this thing that they've created, which is fine. But they have stretched it out to make the forgiveness easier. And it looks like if it gets passed, that loans under $150,000 will just be forgiven with a very simple one-page app. Here's your name.
There you go.
Here's this.
Winner, chicken dinner. Yeah.
The larger ones will have to go through some type of a process. But any company that's organized with their books, that keeps their CPA engaged, should do okay with it. Because if you use it for what it was meant to be used for,
Right.
they can't not do it because
Right.
it's the law.
I gotta add this. I'm a tiny company. I'm a one-man company. I'm a sole proprietorship in the ATM business, and I got a PPP loan for $3,700. That was helped me. I wasn't being paid, or my business was shut down essentially for a period of time. Will that pass on to the women and men like me who are in the landscaping business, or do hair, or do things, in the service business like I am, who are sole proprietorships, or maybe one or two, and I don't have that executive staff behind me or that kind of thing. Will it affect us, John?
I think what the intent behind it is to make the smaller amounts more easily forgivable. Okay. It's still critical, I think, for your own purposes, to make sure that you take care of the books and you keep track of everything.
Well, we all take care of our books, but I don't have an accountant doing it for me, or a staff.
No, the point is you didn't go out and buy a gold watch with
no new
$3,700.
Rolex. I didn't get a new Rolex
a
with
Rolex. Yeah, exactly.
I think the key is even if you don't have an accountant, if you're organized and you could substantiate it, because one of the questions we've had with some of our CPAs is, okay, great, it's gone from a loan to a grant. Now, do I have to count this as income?
Okay. Didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so
but if you do, so be it. It is income if the government gave it to you.
Right. Which isn't a big deal. You just need to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with it. That's kind of the key.
It was hard. I don't want to go on about it, but it was hard. The kids got one too at Save On to try and keep going. But you're shut down. You're told this is to keep your payroll going. Well, I'm not paying myself. I'm shut down. I don't want to not follow the rules, but I'm not going to give it to myself. I'm going to pay bills with it. I'm going to pay my creditors with it. And thank God they opened it up so that you could pay creditors. You have regular bills every month that you need to pay. Mm-hmm. So everybody's confused about that, and you are an excellent resource for information. Call Ulster Savings Bank and ask specifically for John Claston, and he'll tell you.
The way I understand it is the bank that you went through to get the paycheck protection, there might have been another entity over top of that one, right? So, are the ones that are going to review this, because I forget what the number is, like 7 million or 10 million of these things that they did. Mm-hmm. There's no way the SBA could track any of this, so it's going to fall to the local level at some point, right? For you all to say, geez, Marmo, you went out and, bought your wife a, big fat diamond ring, and that's just not going to cut it. Oh, yes, dear, I did that. I have it in the drawer waiting to give you when I get
searching your room as we speak.
Right. She's ripping the bedroom apart. But
need a warrant either.
Yeah, so correct. So that's kind of going to be the game plan. Mm-hmm. And I know we went through, because our accounts are at Rondout Savings, but we went through, is it Pursuit or, yeah?
That's who we partnered with as well.
So same thing.
Absolutely.
So
we worked a lot with Pursuit through the whole thing. I
Yeah.
mean, we did some of the loans ourselves, but a good portion of them we partnered with Pursuit. And overall, I think we did 10 internal, and then we did like 26 million with Pursuit.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
They were our backing. So, I mean, from a community standpoint, that
Yeah.
was huge. And through that process, it was 5,000 jobs in the community.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
really
that's staggering.
huge.
It's very impactful.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
for sure.
By the way,
Pursuit was great. I have to say, I dealt with someone
They
from
were easy
Pursuit,
to deal
and I'm
with.
nobody. I'm a tiny little thing, but he was cool, man. He
Yeah.
made sure to pick up the telephone, said, "Hey, I want to make sure you're okay." So kudos to you for partnering with them.
Right. No, that's good. And by the way, last I knew, the federal government or SBA had not paid the banks.
Well, MaryRose can probably tell us.
La 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 la. All right, let's go. How about them Yankees? All right. So, do you want to?
Yeah, one of the other things
yeah.
I wanted to mention, and John pipe in as well, that we also are working with Central Hudson. We are one of the 9 banks that partnered with Central Hudson. Central Hudson is giving out grants to small businesses as
Right.
well. So we were able to work with several customers, and through those customers and the grants, they were able to get $50,000 worth of grants that they can use to repay those loans.
Right,
So-
that's great.
That's fantastic.
The governor didn't mention that,
The
did he?
governor forgot to say that when he was bad-mouthing Central Hudson.
Bashing
Yeah.
him.
I saw that yesterday. I
For
said, "You
not,
gotta
for
be
not
kidding
cleaning
me."
up the
He's got
gigantic
two
oak
choices and
trees.
two are right and one is wrong. He always picks wrong. Always.
So that's good. Central Hudson has this program.
Yep, it's the Small Business Back to Business Funding Program.
Great.
So if you're out there and you're interested, go out to the website. You can go to our website and see you may be eligible for another grant up to $10,000.
Great. Awesome.
You can use that to help pay back the PPP loan, right?
Absolutely, for
that's-
repayments. for
ATM,
loans and so
you guys
forth.
use
So
electricity.
it's great.
We use a lot of
so-
electricity.
Get your tail on it.
For sure, so that's another opportunity.
And that's still out there today. It's still
It is.
available.
It's still out there, and if anybody has any interest.
10K, bro. What are we waiting for? End the show right now. Let's get on
Any
this.
one of the 9 banks that are participating with Ulster Savings
I don't
as
know.
well.
Motion to adjourn.
Well,
Take advantage of it.
That's really important, though, and we thank Central Hudson, and someone can call you and ask, right? Someone
Absolutely.
can call Ulster Savings Bank and say, how do I participate in this? Someone, if you're listening and you own a small business and you're still struggling, remember that your local bank and your local utility provider are working to make your life easier. And that's
What
great.
they're there for. So what else you have? In
You got a
terms of-
lot,
You
man.
got a lot.
Well, you know, one of the
Good
things I
stuff.
wanted to just mention is just some of the things that we've seen from our customers. We've received numerous emails and phone calls, and Bill has been inundated from customers, businesses, and consumers, just about, you know, how we've helped them through this
Right.
process.
Some human interest stories here.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
How is
The
it? Yeah.
PPP loans, the mortgages, the branch transactions. So the first one I wanted to share is it's one of our mortgage customers, and this was a review that was posted on Zillow, and hopefully everyone will appreciate it. From A to Z, mortgage originator was professional, personable, and efficient. Professional, did their job as it should be done. Personable, made me feel comfortable. Efficient, always working, no delays. And now we've discovered a new acronym for PPP. Right? It's professional, it's personal, and it's efficient. So,
I like it.
pandemic, we have to think about all those things
Yes,
from
yes,
a customer
very creative,
perspective.
very
yes,
creative.
yes, definitely.
It's a good one.
Another one was an experience that a customer had. They had wrote a sizable, large check, and through this process, you can imagine everybody's busy doing different things, and they forgot about the fact that they had an outstanding check for a very large amount. So
Money to cover it.
not enough money to cover it, of course, of course.
Been there, done that.
Whoops.
It happens,
Whoops.
right? So what happened was one of our Stone Ridge branch personnel, Sierra, she reached out to the customer, left an urgent message because of the size of the check, and mentioned to the customer that they needed to contact us by a certain time, and that never happened. So Sierra took the opportunity to, delve into the relationship, look at it, and she spoke to the manager, and they looked at things and decided, you know what, we're gonna pay this check for this customer. And that customer, the following day, finally received that message and was like, all of a sudden, it clicked in his head that, wow, I've got this outstanding check.
Ruh-roh.
What happened, right? And they called, and they were so gracious that we took the opportunity to do that, especially during these times. Things happen, and big shout out to our Stone Ridge office.
Personal
because
touch is huge.
It really made a
Huge,
difference.
huge.
Made a difference for that customer as
yeah.
a whole.
Yeah,
Really
that's
did.
great.
Definitely.
That's why you do business with a local bank.
Right, exactly.
You know what? I don't want to. I just got to pick one, but that wouldn't happen at Bank of America. I'm sorry, it just wouldn't. It would be
Unless you get an exceptional person who's just
they can't. They don't have the
aberration.
mechanism in place to do
Right,
that.
exactly.
But your local bank does because they know you. Right?
Absolutely.
They know you.
Absolutely. And we've had numerous business customers send in emails and letters as well, thanking all of our commercial team and the branches for helping them
Right.
through the process with the PPP loans. We
Yeah.
had another situation in our Gardner branch where it was mother and father had gotten an email, and they were told to send some money to a location. So they went into the
Suspicious.
branch, and they were talking to them, and immediately the manager was like, "Well, this doesn't sound right." So took the time to really delve into it with that customer, and sure enough, it was a scam. The scams are coming hard and fast right now with the pandemic because
Yeah.
people are in some
Vulnerable
Yeah,
and,
exactly,
there's
and so they're
idiots
always
out
looking
there.
for different things. So what transpired was the actual daughter of the parents contacted us because through this process, the parents had conveyed the message.
They were
as to
elderly
what happened? They were
parents, or-
elderly, and saved over $25,000.
Sheesh.
The scams that are out there, you really have to think about things, and if it sounds too good to be true, it
usually
is.
That's a really
it
good lesson in
is.
life,
Yeah.
all the way around.
Right? No matter what.
Nothing is
No matter
free.
what. Yeah.
Nothing is free.
For
and
sure.
if it sounds too good to be true, it is. And I don't mean to run the bad. I wasn't running the bad mouth on. I'm thinking now because I do business with Bank of America. Maybe I should say those online banks. Those online banks.
Sounds
Don't
like
do business with those online banks. They cannot help you with that.
A little slight retraction.
Oh, geez, I wonder if any of them are listening.
Love those guys. Let's make them.
Still only banking locally, but since I'm bi-coastal, I have to use a big bank.
Yeah, that's okay. You can flip-flop. It's okay.
Listen, I apologize when I should, don't I?
I know you did.
We're here to help.
We're here to
We're here to help, as all the local banks are. For sure.
So, are you still doing the drive-through closings? Bill was talking about that.
We
at one
are
point.
absolutely. We're
Yeah.
doing that, and that's been a big hit. Actually, we
still
are
doing it?
We are. We still have the tent up from Save On.
Thank you, MaryRose.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Right,
so yeah, it's
Allison.
great. It's really been wonderful. Customers come up, they drive right in. We have individuals that are there. We have everything that they need right underneath the tent, and it's very comfortable. We actually had.
Can they stay in their car?
They can if they want.
They
Absolutely,
can if they want,
sure.
right?
We have.
Happened 2 days
They're
ago.
like really
We
worried
have-
they can stay in their car.
It poured 2 days ago.
Nobody
right?
wanted to come in for their closings.
I mean, it was like,
No, we can move inside, obviously, but it's been really a godsend, and it's really been very helpful. Customers love it. They come in, they talk about it, they talk to others about it, and it's worked out very well for us.
That's great. That's a great service. Absolutely. So, when did you start?
I started about 6 weeks ago.
About 6. So you're.
I had an interview. The world blew up. So I was like, well, am I going to get the job? So I called MaryRose. She's like, oh my God, we forgot about you. And I was like, no, I get it. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
We had a couple other things we were doing that was not the top priority.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
And then I was able to get started. So I've enjoyed being back out on the road. I'll call a lot of customers that, look, just want to come out and see it.
Say hi,
I'll
yeah,
do whatever
that's
the
great.
protocol is. I'll stand 60 feet away from you. I just
Yeah.
want to bring
Yeah.
binoculars, and I just want to introduce myself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And a lot of businesses are open to see it, open to seeing people. They want you to be safe, obviously, and I'm not in a mosh pit with their entire staff, and in many cases, they haven't seen anybody else either. So they enjoy the connection, and you see a lot of resilience out there. A lot of businesses that could really have been hurt figured out new ways to do things.
Isn't that amazing?
The
It's
resiliency in our
amazing.
community is really, nobody curled up on a
Yeah.
ball and just said, no, I can't do
Pull
this.
the covers over their head.
Exactly, no. People were out and they wanted to, what can we do? They're reinventing
Yeah.
themselves.
But
You know,
they're
what can I
finding a
do
way to
differently?
succeed. They're
Exactly.
finding a way to
But
succeed.
not to be
because-
a Debbie Downer, there are some casualties out there.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, I
Of
just, we don't want to
course,
make this all,
Yeah.
peaches and cream because there's businesses in Kingston that are just belly up, and so
There are.
couldn't withstand that. But
And that's always going to be the case, but I am,
Probably, yeah.
like you, proud of those places that figured out a way to muddle through it. My own kids nobody's having weddings, by the way. Nobody's renting tents for parties and weddings. No one, zero. The only way for them to stay in business was to have made a turn and figure out a new way to do their business, and they did it.
I mean, the kids are not like 12 years old. I mean,
No,
just
they're all right. So they're
Like a
30.
30-year-old.
like
They're
you're
30. They're
selling
30.
lemonade.
You know how it is.
They'll always be our kids, Tony.
They're
They'll
always
be
the
our
kids.
kids.
They're
That's
young,
right.
successful women
Yes,
that are
yes.
doing an amazing
Well, I'm very
job with
proud of.
Save On,
Yeah.
and you're very proud of
Very
it.
proud
But
of
they'll
them.
always be kids in Dad's eyes.
They're always going to be our kids.
Of course,
When they're 50 and I'm gone, they're still going to be my kids.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
John, I want to thank you for wearing your flag pin too. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
It's nice to see that. We don't see enough of that, and I'm glad to see you wearing that.
Yeah,
Every day.
veteran pin.
Yeah.
Right?
You
Thank
are
you.
a veteran.
Yep.
Yep. And thank
That's
you for
great.
that service. So you're not just serving your community, you've been serving your community all your life, haven't
What
you?
branch were you in?
I was in the Army. Remember the Scudbusters in the first Gulf War?
Oh, you were
Ah!
you were the chief scudder, huh?
And my son is now a fighter pilot in the U.S.
Oh,
Air
wow.
Force. So.
Oh, congratulations. That's fantastic. That's a
fifth
hard job to
generation.
get, huh?
Yeah, apparently not for him.
Okay.
He
We must be
decided
super
one
smart.
day that he was going to do it, and I was like,
Yeah.
how are you going to do it? He goes like, oh, I'm just going to go sign up, and they're going to let me do it. I'm going,
Yeah, not so much.
well, let me see how that works out for you.
Yeah.
Here's a $2 billion airplane.
Yeah, right?
And boom.
They're in high
Second in his
demand.
class all the way through.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And he's in D.C. now, flying over the White House.
Congratulations. Those that are 1% of America serve so that 99% don't have to.
Yeah.
And God bless the 1% that do. So thank you for that, and
But
thank
the
you to your
fighter
son.
pilots, I was reading in some article about it, super high demand, and there was the first female fighter pilot, which seemed incredible to me that it would take this long to get the first female fighter pilot. I don't know, is that true or not? Is that fake news?
They've had
They've had them?
other fighter
Okay.
pilots. Yeah, there's
Okay, maybe
the first wing commander.
Okay, maybe that's
I
what-
believe, and there was a first
Okay.
naval
Yeah.
naval fighter pilot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it wasn't on like some wacky channel like DIY channel. It was on a legitimate.
You are something.
Tony, you're so funny.
You know,
Ulster Savings Bank. ladies and
yeah, we
gentlemen.
love them.
Bank.
MaryRose,
Give us a phone
Warcholak,
number.
John Clausen,
Clausen.
thank you so
Give
much.
us a phone number and a website real quick.
845-338-6322 and www.ulstersavings.com.
Go there.
Yes.
Go there. Do your business locally. Thank you guys for your support, and thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you for
having us.
everything that you do as
Thanks.
well. Appreciate
All right,
it.
all the
Have a
best.
great
Take
day.
us away,
Lawrence,
Lawrence.
take us away.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
On top of first-class care, you will never receive a bill. The only thing we had to worry about was just keeping Azalea comfortable. St. Jude saved her life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
A message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare.
There's pain that does not stop.
I feel trapped by migraine.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
I feel like I'm dying.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Central Hudson reminds you that summer thunderstorms can strike with strong, gusty winds, knocking down trees and power lines. If you see a downed power line, call 911 immediately to report it. Power lines can carry an electric current strong enough to cause injury or death. Stay at least 30 feet away from a fallen line. Don't try to move it or anything that has come in contact with it. And never drive over a power line. Remember, your safety matters.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Hi, my name is Jackie Levezzo. I'm from Lake Katrine, and I support the Kingston Community Radio because it is an invaluable resource to the community and its residents.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
What is okay, we're back on the air, folks. This is Thunder Thursday.
Norwegian
Flash.
Ba-ba-ba-boom. We were just talking about how Tony's always drunk in the morning.
We're joined by...
Smells like wine.
That is not true. It's fake news, folks. It's fake news. We're joined by Lisa Berger, the Director of Economic Development in Ulster County. Thank you, and a regular guest on our show.
Welcome, regular guest. Yes. And a ray of sunshine, a rose between two thorns today.
Yes, yes. Not MaryRose. But
we had MaryRose in the last episode.
Yes, nothing but roses here today.
Nothing but roses. Very well said.
But roses.
So another Italian girl, by the way.
I know.
Italian girl.
A New Paltz girl.
Not Berger. It's not the Berger part. That's a bit Germanic, I think.
Yeah.
Or
it is Germanic, right? So and it's.
You're a Moriello.
I absolutely am. So yeah, absolutely.
Hailing from New Paltz.
I'm proud of it.
From a family, a small business family,
right?
A community member, and I just think that that's significant as you have moved up through your career path to being, number one in the county now for what you do. That background of understanding what economic development is to your folks, right? To what it was for your folks.
Absolutely. It's in Ulster County. It's always about the small businesses and the entrepreneurs, our farmers, our shop owners, our restaurateurs. That is the bulk of our businesses, all those Main Street businesses. And I think that growing up here and being involved in a family that had a business does allow me to sometimes sit with businesses and really empathize in a true way, understand their challenges, their successes, their frustrations, how they, what they're going through. And this has certainly been a tough time for a lot of our businesses. But I heard you say that, some people have pivoted, they're doing well. I heard Tony talk about this morning with March how he's seeing an uptick in job postings. So
people need to go back to work. Maybe they don't want to go back to work, but now that the extra 600's cut off, they got to go back to work.
It's the way unemployment always works.
Yeah.
That at the end of 26
it was very challenging.
People always go back.
Yeah.
It's very challenging.
Yeah, so that's encouraging from our standpoint, and hopefully as businesses can safely open up, and I almost can't think of a business now that can't safely open up, which is a little confounding why there's still places not open, like gyms. I a little bit understand that, but limit the number of people that you want in the gym, have 30.
I feel terribly bad for them.
I know. I mean, somebody like the Mac, and...
been so hard on them and on yoga studios. Yeah. Yoga, it seems so arbitrary. We're allowed to have gymnastics.
Right. It's just ridiculous.
Inside
you can go to the weed dispensary, but you can't go to the gym?
Right.
You can't go to a yoga class.
Yeah. You go to Hannaford, where a million people, ShopRite, Lowe's, name it.
I mean, I don't want to focus on one business, but if you think of the Mac, that's a privately owned business. That's not a chain.
We have a lot of little gyms here and personal trainers in Ulster County, and they have now been shut down for 6 months. And here's what I hear from them, Scott, truthfully. They keep saying, would you please tell the people at the state level, if you're not going to let us open at all, just say it.
So we can move on with our lives, right?
Exactly. And that's where the problem has been, is that they aren't getting that. It's the same as like Headless Horseman, right? Yep. This past week or so, I've been talking with Mike Juby, what a great, and
a huge local employer and generator of income and
Sales
just
tax
a
revenue.
sales tax.
Huge. It's amazing. So he has a huge upfront investment he needs
every
to make.
year. And now he needs to make it now.
Are they going to be able to
do it.
open?
That is what we're trying to get clarity from the state. We're saying to the state right now, hey, if you're not going to let a business like this open, tell us, because he literally has $20,000 that he needs to put into this business right now. And if you're not going to let him open, that's just good money after, after
See,
everything
this is what
else.
you understand, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to pick on the governor, but when you've never had a real job in your life, he doesn't understand that you can't say the day before, okay, you can open. Well, the world doesn't work that way.
Right.
There's preparation that's required.
But we get the public safety part of that.
I do.
And I think if you ask Mike Juby, how can you open safely, he would tell you
he'll
exactly
have it
how he
down,
can.
yeah.
You know what? He has a great plan.
Yeah.
And
So submit-
he handed that over to them, and he's doing it, and his plan is to do things completely differently. So and I think that is the point, right? That all of our businesses feel.
They get it.
Tell us what you need us to do or what you won't
Right.
let us do, and let us move on from there. But like holding us up, not giving us any kind of idea, it would be like,
It's a cascading effect,
It
too.
really is.
Because if you think of a gym, any gym, often they have a landlord. That landlord has to pay their taxes or their electric bill or their plowing bill for the winter.
man.
And the tenant has a portion of that. Well, I can't pay you, so she can't pay the next one, and she can't pay the next one down the line.
Right.
Yeah.
And those challenges, nobody from the state government seems to understand that
Right.
cascade effect.
And I agree with both of you about the science, right, and health and keeping the public safe. But when businesses have been thoughtful, they've come up with good plans, they're responsible. This is ultimately about them keeping their business. If they're irresponsible and an outbreak happens and it's traced back to their business, think how bad that is for their business.
You're done.
Our businesses have been very, very, very responsible.
I mean, our numbers are great in the state. I mean, granted, everyone followed, I mean, there's not everyone, but a big majority of businesses and people are figuring it out. And so what's the problem? Because there is going to be an economic day of reckoning that's coming. And if the federal government doesn't write a $40 million check to Ulster County, we are screwed.
Yeah,
we are
Tony,
screwed.
It's actually that better.
Okay, I'm picking up from you.
Nice. Dang, buddy. Good for you. I'm getting into the dark side.
Well, so no dark side, but I think we
No,
have to
reality.
be
It's
realistic.
common sense.
Yeah, we have to be realistic.
I am your thought.
I'm always the center guy, right? I'm always trying to pull him.
He's always trying to get me off the edge of the cliff. He's always saying,
right,
stop,
yeah.
calm down.
And so I'm kind of leaning now towards his.
I'm bringing him over.
Right. He's like
wanna-
Darth Vader, for God's sake.
I want to comment, though, on the whole pivot learning. I just popped into my head. In the mornings, I go up to Dietz Stadium, right?
Yeah.
The gyms are closed. Bodies by Kaladi. Julie Kaladi was a trainer at MAC and then went out on her own. She can't have people in her gym. But
She's out in Dietz Stadium.
she's out there at Dietz Stadium. She's got 12, 13, 14 people, and they are doing their thing 12 feet apart.
Right.
So they're
They figure it out.
People are trying. But someone like Holly, who owns MAC, they can't do that.
Right.
They can't take that whole gym and go, well, a huge investment.
Right.
And so I feel terrible for those folks that
Maybe they
can't
could put
find
a
another
big
way.
gym mat out in the parking lot.
Well, they're
and
trying to figure
ask
it
the
out. They put a
Jordans
tent
to
outside for
take-
classes, but it's
You don't
just
need the
not
parking
enough.
spaces.
You can't generate enough income like that.
It's very difficult. I will say I saw another trainer doing an exercise class in somebody's backyard pool.
There you
I
go.
thought that was awesome. I was like, wow,
Good
check
idea.
that out.
Kill
That
two
was
birds with a stone.
That was a
Well,
great
Mike the
idea.
Beard is up there at the stadium too, doing his thing with his personal training clients. So there are ways for the small business, I don't mean small in a negative way, but people who have found that niche and can do it that way. But these bigger gyms, like the MAC, and I imagine Mike Ortega down Dutchess County,
Yeah.
got to be
Well,
suffering
Highland,
down there,
Highland.
Highland. Right, they can't open.
Well, they have a pool there, so they may get a little dispensation on that, right? Can you be in a pool yet? I think you can.
You're allowed to have one person
Yeah.
in a lane at a time. It's really been a challenge with swim teams. This summer's swim teams is going to be a disaster.
you got to get out.
Right. You touch his foot,
Swim practice with 200 kids and one kid in the lane at a time.
It's just, I don't know. It's frustrating. And I know your job mostly has been attraction, right, to bringing businesses in, but now it's probably more like retention. How do we keep what we have, keep the base together?
Your job must be horribly difficult at the moment.
These days, right? Or
I would say this has been a rough. Like 4 or 5 months for everybody in our office. You know why? Because we are acting as cheerleader, as counselor, as therapist, as business consultant.
Right.
And
maybe go between the state.
You're catching all the complaints too.
We are, and we're hearing, and all the frustration needs an outlet somewhere. And I think that you guys touched on it about like restaurants or something. People's behavior has actually changed, right? And so even for our restaurants that pivoted to do like letting people pick up food and all of that kind of stuff, what we are seeing is people, even though they're allowed 50% occupancy, aren't really going out to dinner.
Yeah.
Although
I'll tell you, Leanne and I went out last Friday. The Strand was packed. Every restaurant packed. I'm telling you, inside and I mean, we went to downtown cafe Graziano's, and we had a great
Graziano. Yeah.
We're out in the sidewalk.
He's an awesome chef, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's
Listen,
amazing.
you can't get a bad meal on the Strand.
No,
you can't get a bad meal if you tried. You got
can't.
so many good places to go down there.
No,
it's
absolutely.
just like Uptown Kingston.
It's so
But it was busy. It was very busy.
I'm glad. But your point about people's behavior, and I can't make this point strong enough or often enough. Wear the damn mask. I was at my bank the other day.
Don't wear a mask. Wear the damn mask.
Wear the damn mask. Rondout Savings Bank.
Get a cool mask.
Trying to do the right thing. The Italian, yeah.
I like that.
They're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to service their customers, and in comes this guy who is just a jackwagon.
Yeah, cowboy.
And he starts bitching from the minute. Oh, I had to wait outside. Well, and they said, "Well, we're sorry, sir, but we're only letting in, 3 people at a time." Well, that's ridiculous. I do my banking here, sir. Could you put your mask? Well, that's ridiculous. Shut up and stay
You're
home.
ridiculous.
Why don't you move to Europe or something then? Yeah, be polite.
Move
These
to
people
Canada.
don't want to give you a hard time. They're trying to give you service. They're trying to make your life better, give you service, stay safe, follow the rules. It's so confusing for everybody. Just try to be nice about it when you go. Put the mask, put the stupid mask on. And be nice. Be nice to the people behind the counter or behind the bar or the waiter or waitress.
The pandemic doesn't change the fact that you're a horse's ass.
Right. You were probably a jerk before. I hope you're listening, sir, whoever you are. You were probably a jerk before. And those folks that work at our banks, at our grocery stores, at our service providers, at our restaurants, they didn't get the choice to stay home, by the way.
Right.
They were told, you got to come to work or you don't get paid.
Exactly.
They can't say, well, we don't feel safe, so we're not coming to work, but we'd like to be paid anyway, and that's what our union says.
Ooh.
So what is your focus, let's see, in the next couple of months, Lise?
I would say that, so usually in economic development, they talk about, they group together retention and expansion and then attraction as a separate program or activity. I'm going to say right now we're focused very much on retention. And expansion and attraction are really together now. And that we really need to focus directly on retention and shoring up the bedrock foundation of all of our businesses. I heard Ulster Savings talk about the loan program that Central Hudson's doing. We're working with a not-for-profit community funding organization to help women in minority-owned businesses that didn't get PPP or EIDL money. And the county's looking at, and we have education programs for our businesses to enter into, and we're even looking at a direct source of a one-shot, maybe between $5,000 to $10,000 for businesses right now, because what's important in Ulster County is shoring up our foundation right now and not losing them, because I think that we are in the next 6 months are going to be even more critical. So as hard as it's been Tony, over these last couple months, we're actually heading into a position that might be a little bit more precarious. We need to get those businesses over the hump. We need to have our businesses have a stable foundation as we go into the winter and hopefully into 2021, where there's a vaccine and we're all able to recover. So, you have a health background, and I think that,
my wife reminds me I'm a suit. I was a suit. Yeah.
You know Tony the suit. You guys know Tony the suit, right? Yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean,
hair
look,
like a judge.
Beautiful. Rich, handsome, and hair like a judge. Do you remember?
Yeah, 1 out of 3 is okay. No, look, I get the public safety issue. I really do, and I agree with Scott on the mask issue and being safe. But I also get the economic issue that if we don't fix that, it could be more dramatic than the public safety issue. The health issue will be overrun by bankruptcies, people not knowing leaving the state in droves,
and children who are not being educated.
Yeah, I mean it's just cascading.
We had a teacher on. Lawrence brought this lovely young Lawrence. Are you up there? Or you no? What was her name? She was wonderful.
Larissa O'Neill. She's a friend of mine.
Yeah. Yes.
She's from Lawrence Cahill Elementary School in Saugerties.
Thank you. And she was able to share the experience of the teachers and what they're going through. You can't educate a 7-year-old by computer. It just isn't going to work. It's just, they're not going to do it. You got to figure out a way to get them into school. They have to go to school.
Hands-on, tactile. Right.
I remember how cool that was. So that's part of the equation as well.
I mean, I think it's all together there. And I think that right now, as I said, we're at a point where we need to make sure with our local businesses, our bedrock
our community, our whole community.
All these Main Street businesses that have given to fundraisers.
They're the ones that support.
That are in Rotary, that do Kiwanis.
Sponsor the ball teams.
These are who these people
Dart
are.
League.
And we need to at this point, roll out programs that are going to help them, that are going to keep them here. And that's why we're looking at direct aid. We're also looking at trying to develop a system within the county that would allow businesses at no cost to themselves to do what's called touchless purchasing for customers, so that Grubhub takes a big fee when people order food from Grubhub. We're trying to figure out with a technopreneur who's here in Ulster County, is there a way for us to do something similar that won't cost our merchants any money and will allow people to easily purchase from them?
That's a great idea.
So we're just really pushing forward on ideas that we think are going to shore up the basics, and we're hopeful that the businesses will respond. I mean, I did a look at what businesses have recovered so far, what businesses haven't recovered.
March was talking about it. What sectors, right?
And so, the one thing that we do need to be concerned with here is that we do have a tourism-based economy, and I know that people aren't happy with that, but you can't
argue about it.
Fight with the army you have, not the army you want.
You can't turn around a battleship on a dime. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
We need a slow transition where we have a better mix of businesses.
Well, we could maybe stop driving away everybody that wants to come here and open up a business, but we could start with that.
Maybe cut the weeds.
Yeah, maybe cut the weeds down. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
He's converting me. I'm just.
Is he checking?
No. Yeah.
Tony, welcome to the dark side.
Yeah.
But we do need to take concrete action to address that sector, because they are down so significantly and they drive sales tax revenue.
And tourism, by the way, is wonderful, and we are uniquely positioned for a wonderful tourist industry in the foothills of the Catskills and the Adirondacks.
We've had it.
And up 28, and it's great, and we've capitalized it. When IBM left, we had nothing else. But we also have to welcome in those other industries that create jobs and give people a paycheck. Integral in the Paycheck Protection Program is a paycheck.
Paycheck, yes.
We had a fascinating conversation with our manufacturers, with the county executive, and they actually are doing very well. They're old orders have all come in. They're taking new orders. They're seeing, no supply chain issues. They're doing terrific. And they actually kind of pointed us in interesting directions. They are saying to us that there's a big opportunity coming up in biopharma, and they've been...
What the hell does that mean?
Biopharma.
Rest us, buddy. Don't even worry about it.
So
Yeah.
you know what that is?
I took it in 8th grade, I think.
Italian.
I-
Biopharma. That's after you get your eggs. You say goodbye. Biopharma.
What a horses,
I like that.
Horses patoot you are. Oh my God. Okay, so what is biopharma?
People, all different companies that produce everything from the test kits that are needed right now.
COVID test kits, right?
To COVID test kits to vials that, and antigen production and all those kinds of things that have really exploded in the wake of this. And that there's a thought that there's probably no end in sight in the need for those kinds of things. And some of our manufacturers are actually really situated in a place where they could, take advantage of it, kind of like the Kodak deal.
They're doing a beautiful pivot, right? That's an amazing story.
I didn't hear that one.
Kodak is going to
That's
make...
what Kodak's going to do.
They're way upstate New York.
Yeah. Utica,
happened
Rochester, wherever.
Rochester.
When cell cameras, cell phone cameras,
they went out of
they're done,
business.
right? They
No,
sell
they're cooked.
film.
Right.
They're done. They're not done.
Why are they not done?
Turned themselves around and begun using their factory to manufacture
all those all the things that I just
pharma.
kind of said. They're going to do antigen production. They're going to do vials that you need for like taking blood, as well as giving people injections.
So they're really out of the photography business.
There is no more photography.
They were able to adapt like their machinery and their
they've got an infrastructure that's set up for a bit.
Right.
It's the widget story.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you're selling.
Right.
You sell it the same way.
Exactly.
So if you're able to not quit and you're able to pivot and say, well, we've got these big buildings, we've got these machines that can make this. Let's see if we can get them to make that.
Right.
And that's what Kodak is doing.
Right, and that's a shot in the arm for upstate.
Oh,
I mean,
boy,
that's great, and even on a local level, our manufacturers. It was funny. We had this conversation with them and about like places for opportunity a week before they announced that
Kodak
deal
thing,
with Kodak, and we were like, wow, these guys really are, they know exactly what they're talking about. So we're really, really impressed. So there are definitely sectors here that are doing just fine, but there are places that we really need to, we need to look at and make sure of. And, and construction's one of them that recovered really well. But what we need to make sure of is that we improve our economy moving into the fall so that next spring, after all this work that was already booked, is done, we have more work for them to do. So, it's never like, okay, we can, that sector's fine, we're going to be good. It's always like, okay, we need to...
You never get a day off. Economic development never gets a day off.
Yeah.
but
Especially now. I mean, before the pandemic, things were, looked like they were cooking pretty good. The economy was doing pretty good. And then the big hammer gets dropped and all bets are off now. I mean, it's, you just got to start piece by piece. Hopefully the government, the state government, is going to start easing up some of these restrictions. Do it safely.
Or just give a plan. Make a real plan.
Or just
let us know.
Right. Or just tell somebody. If you're not going to let them open, just say, hey, guess what? We've decided it's
Imagine the challenge
too difficult.
Just school districts. A basic function, this is a basic function of our government, is to educate our children. And to just say willy-nilly, I don't know, figure it out, you guys figure it out, and then give me a plan by August 3rd or whatever it was. And then I'll let you know if your plan's good, the week before school opens. Come on, man. Yeah. Make a plan.
Well, you're
Even
assuming
if you make a bad plan,
you're
it's
assuming
better
that
than no
people
plan.
in those positions are smarter than us, and they're probably not smarter than us. They're probably less smart.
Oh, they're probably not, but...
I mean, they might be smart, but not in this area of running businesses, owning businesses, meeting payroll, because they've been in government for so long. They're just theoretical. And so, right? I mean, it's just like,
It should be a law that before you take a government job, you have to have a real job.
Right, exactly.
At least one.
You have to make payroll on the front of a paycheck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not the back of it all the time. So, all right, at least. I mean, you're gonna. He's just converting me. I might have to take a week off. I don't know.
I go away to re-education camp.
I definitely
I need to
think
get an
that.
adjustment.
Or some sort of mind meld.
No, I don't know.
Mind meld. I love those.
I think that's what happened.
Well, we love you, Lisa Berger,
Yes,
and we
you're the
love
best.
the
You're the
job you've
best.
done with Ulster County. Known you forever. Really bringing a wonderful perspective to Ulster County government through your position as the Director of Economic Development.
That's correct.
If there's
right?
a way, you will figure it out, because we know
Yes.
you're tenacious. We know you have a great heart, a great mind in terms of how to get stuff done within the parameters that you're given. And so, we
Appreciate
love
you.
love
Appreciate everybody.
Thanks.
Love you all. Lawrence gave us the finger. It's time to go.
Thanks. Support KCR, folks. We didn't
Send
talk
us a
about
couple
the
of
fund-
bucks. We got money today. We got some money today.
Good. Yeah, if somebody could
God
write
bless
an
you.
$8,000 check, that would be very appreciated.
That would super wind it up for us. God bless you. God bless
PPP money.
this great nation of ours. God bless America.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you for sharing the morning with us and participating in Kingston Community Radio, KCR, AM 920 and 92.5 FM WGHQ, and our live streaming on mykcr.org. Join us each weekday morning from 7 to 9 a.m., and until the next show, we wish you every success in growing and developing Kingston and all our neighboring communities. We now return you to Real Country Radio.